Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a DevCom RSTV. Joining me here today are Mod Raven and Mod Asherz. I'm your host, Mods Moltare. Now, we'll be talking to you today a little about what the DevCom team's been up to recently and what we're planning to bring to you soon. In particular, the new community scenario tool, which Mod Raven will be showing you some progress on and quizzing you about what you'd like to see. In the meantime, though, we'll go to Mod Asherz here and tell us a little about the new JMod toolbox that we've been working on, and a little about what the players can expect to see from that.
So the JMod toolbox is a tool basically for JMods. No players, nothing for you guys, at least player facing yet. What we plan to do is make it a lot easier for us to run events and be around the area to help with 99 parties, to allow the fireworks to go off better balloons, drops, that sort of stuff. Other than that, some quirky little features such as a teleport to a JMod, which you can drop a little odd stone at a JMod's feet, and then the players can use the world map or the home teleport location to teleport directly to a JMod.
So a temporary lodestone dropping button for a JMod to just center a party on.
Pretty much, yep. So JMod can drop it down. There it goes, right there. Right next to it, they might want to drop a bank deposit box or something. Something nice, quick and easy to get to, which should all help out for running all the lovely events that hopefully our CM team and other JMods hopefully can get involved with.
Excellent. Any other entertaining features?
For the JMod toolbox, or just in general?
For the JMod toolbox.
For the JMod toolbox, I don't know, I'm trying to think what else was on there. General transmog. It's always good fun.
Turn into all the things.
Turn in all of the NPCs.
And a button that heals everyone in an area around you for combat.
That one helps, obviously.
Yep. Excellent. So you've also been working at the same time on a little addition to the in-game clock.
I have, indeed. So we've added now the ability to broadcast events, as it were. So when CM run events, it should hopefully spit out to the world that is relevant. It should hopefully give some lovely information. So
the CM team's running an event.
Yes.
And they say...
Yeah, they'll say it's on a specific world at a specific time. The clock will then come up with a little icon with a little eye on it that you can hover over, and it will show you all of the relevant information that that is currently running for that event.
So running a game of Heist on World 35 in an hour's time.
Yes, exactly.
Sounds good to me.
Yep. Also on the side of that, I've added another little feature for your favorited mini-games. So on the mini-games panel, you can obviously favorite your mini-games that you like to view. And then if any of these are on cooldown, there should be another little icon that can be toggleable, turn on and off, don't worry.
We do like a toggle option.
We do love a good toggle option. That can be, you can hover over and it will show you daily resets, monthly resets, weekly resets, and then when your favorited mini games come off of cooldown. So how long you have left in game time.
So until the next time you can do warbands, or
warbands, or troll invasion, or fish flingers, anything like that. So when that comes down, all of that should work. And also, if there is enough time for you to see it, there should be a nice little message to say 5-minute warning, not a warning, more of a 5-minute information saying you have 5 minutes until this comes on cooldown, so you can get yourself ready, prepared, get to the right location that you need to be.
Excellent, sounds good to me. Well, obviously it sounds good to me. I'm the product owner and I told you to do it. Otherwise I wouldn't have told you to do it.
Yes, that's very true.
And of course the other thing that you're working on for the player power polls at the moment.
Yes, so to try and help with a bit more variety of players being able to choose more options. So at the moment when a poll comes up, you only have one option to choose between in the list and vote, but you can change it, give or take. But I'm trying to add the ability that you can tick multiple options within the list, and then you can submit that straight out. So you can have out of a 5 question, you can choose up to 5 or a minimum of 1.
Okay.
So depending on what you like, if you like the sound of all of them, tick them all. If you don't, tick one of the ones that you do like.
Right, so more flexibility to vote for several
Yes.
options that you like if you just can't decide.
Exactly.
Excellent.
More power to the players,
Yes,
as it were.
that's what it's for.
Exactly. There we go.
I see a certain amount in chat of the server problems that we've been experiencing of late. There is a news post that you can read about on either on our main page or through the news feed in the lobby. Thank you for that, Ash.
That's okay.
That does explain a little about the DDoS attacks that we've been having of late and some things that we're planning to do in the future to take care of that. So do give that a read if you haven't already. It does explain a certain amount. So next up, I think we're going to go and talk a little about the CM tool. But before we move on to that, just to tell you, if you're in chat, if you're following us on Twitch right now, do send anything either through the chat or to the RSTV hashtag about other things that you're interested in seeing DevCom do, of the same sort of helping you to find events, helping you to get to your group D&Ds, or anything to do with friends chats, clan chats, that sort of thing. That's what we're for. Do send us your suggestions. So with that, Raven, the CM tool, as currently exists on the infamous rotten potato.
Yes.
What does it do at the moment?
At the moment, it allows JMods to run a selection of little events, which are all of kind of the style of spawn X NPCs here. Normally things like the balloon animals that go tra-la-la-la-la-la, and then you stab them and they explode, and it's all very exciting. Or other things like the zombie monkeys or this, that, and the other. It's quite restrictive at the moment. It's just spawning NPCs, and once the JMod spawns, they're kind of stuck there because they can't move around whilst it's happening. And so we want to change that with the scenario tool, I think. We want to make it more interesting.
Okay. So I do like the experience lamps that you can get off the zombie monkeys at least. And certainly the players always ask for that one when I'm dropping anything off the CM tool. But so the plan then is to take the existing framework, move it off of the rotten potato.
Yes.
And to make it available only to JMods?
No, we want to be able to offer this out to at least a selection of players, so that the community can actually run its own community events. And we want to expand the list of sort of scenarios, this events available to things the community want. So I've mentioned before the fashion scapers and making a little catwalk for them to, move on down with their little outfits, I don't know. Or do stuff for the roleplay community so they can turn one of the pubs into an instance area so they can roleplay in that instance, stuff like that.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a short interstitial now, which will give you time to move over to the streaming machines that we've got over there and show off a bit of what you've done so far and talk a bit about the potential scenarios that people could see and solicit some opinions.
Yeah.
So if we go to the lovely little video that we've got for you, and Raven, be ready to run.
Yep.
Why, I say! Who's that non-player character?
Hello. This just in, Milo just died at 1958 total level in God Wars in Hardcore Iron Man. I mean, oh dear, it's terribly sad. Oh dear. So, scenario tool. So, this is what we currently have. If I click on the screen, it helps. No. There we go. Now I can spell. So, previously this is on the rotten potato. We're going to put this onto a new item that we can hopefully give out to players. It prepares a list of all the possible scenarios. Here with the lovely names. These are the sort of things we've already seen. So these are the existing ones of the CM tool. There's only a couple of new ones and they're mostly for the lulz, which I'll show you in a minute. So when you activate one, You now get it through a little overlay, which means you can move around. So you're not locked in stone, trapped forever. But you can still spawn your NPCs. Look, lovely balloon animals. Aren't they cute? You can kill them. Everyone's very excited. And I can kill them all, because you have that power. And these are the sort of scenarios that we used to have. But with the new scenario tool, we can actually add in more interesting things. So we can create scenarios that are a little bit different. So we can have effectively like mini games, which is the sort of thing that I want you guys to start telling me what things you would like, what you would like to do as a community. So we've got some current ideas at the moment that might be a tad silly. We've got ideas of maybe creating a build a boss kind of event. So you could, the idea is that the JMod or the player can create a little boss, spawn an instance, and you go in, you select the commands and abilities it has, and then you try and kill it. Because we can do it with an instance, we can make it safe, we can be ridiculously harsh, so it's fun. We can also do silly stuff like this, which is something that players always ask me for. So here you go, here's all of the bosses, or three of the big bosses, wandering around in the Lumbridge crater. Bwaha, bwaha. So ultimately what I want is for you guys to either in Twitch send suggestions, or you can message me on Twitter. I'll make a forum page in a bit to tell me what things that you would like, what sort of silly scenarios you think could be enjoyable. We'll put in all the safety checks and we'll veto anything that's obviously going to break the game. Also, spoiler, we won't do a scenario that gives you 1 billion XP a second. It's not going to happen. But we can make a bunch of fun things. And ideally we want things for the community, for you guys to enjoy. Rather than for XP, we're looking for just the fun. Although it's worth pointing out that we don't have much of a graphics budget. So if you could suggest ideas that don't require making entire new continents, that would help. Let's kill all the NPCs. Go away, Araxor. There you go. Yeah, trying to think what else I can show you guys. So the current scenario tool will also make it easier to sort it individual things. So as you can see, we can sort it into different styles. So when players get the tool, you'll be able to jump to your scenario that you want quite quickly. Random Jad spawns around the game, really? I can give you Jad spawns here. Oh no, I can't, because it's limited to a certain area. Because I put that in this morning and I should have taken it out. Never mind. Here you go, I'll do the big boss spawning again. Here you go, have that. Doesn't have Jad, you can have Virago everywhere. Okay, so Goblin Hordes. We can do Goblin Hordes. We can do racing. When you say racing, guys, what do you mean? If you could let us know. So I'm just reading the questions. We have one random person transform into a boss, and then everyone gets to kill that person. You just want to kill that person, don't you? Okay. Virago tipping. What do you mean by Virago tipping? Do you mean just literally walk up to Virago and knock him over? What?
Sounds like cow tipping.
It's a bit like, yeah,
Same
but just knocking Viragos over.
Like a domino run made entirely of Virago.
It will hopefully not. So someone says all this will do is lower my FPS. Hopefully it won't do. There are limitations in place to prevent overabundance of things spawning, so it shouldn't be too bad. So in terms of things like scenarios, we can also do things like the drop. Will be tied into the call. The scenarios at the moment at the first launch will be limited to JMods. So we're looking for events that JMods can initiate. After this, we'll hopefully be rolling out the scenario tool to a selection of players, mainly the sort of players who are already big, members of the community, people who already organise events, people who everyone rallies behind will be hopefully rolling out to people like that. And then maybe if it goes really well, we might be able to offer a watered down version to more people, but that's only a maybe. Clan-based the drop game. I suppose we could limit it to the clan. Okay. Can we get pets like Pokemon? That's bit more than a scenario, guys. I'm afraid. That's quite a big update. I mean, I could do something, but you probably don't want it. Scapeavorn suggests maybe you could have a whole bunch of rares spamming within a certain radius of you, but they only last for like 5 minutes or something. This does not sound like a particularly good idea, because then the rares stop being rare, and surely that is bad? Yes? Okay. Yes, I know you want to throw Pokeballs on pets. No. Someone suggests City Overrun, have the Black Knights invade a city and overrun it. This is the sort of thing that I would like, the sort of suggestions I would like, because we can build that. I've already got code in place that will make Falador White Knight Castle safe. I need to test it, but it's theoretically fine. And so having endless spawns of Black Knights come in and you have to defeat them is exactly the sort of thing that we could do. And we can make it community-centric. We can have lots of good stuff going on. So that's the sort of thing that we're after. More suggestions like that are great. Torva Glory asks, can we get married in-game? That's not really a scenario. That's a life choice. Someone suggests letting them write a custom selection of the drop questions. We could. We would obviously probably not allow the buy your way in and get the money as a reward for that, because you could rig it. But we could certainly do something like that. So we could allow you to, with your friends, create quiz shows or those kind of things. So suggest any of those that you can think of. Suggest them to me. You can either in this chat, or I said there'll be a forum thread, or you can tweet me at JagXRaven. In-game dogs. There are dogs in-game. Apparently, oh my god, responded, I rock. That's good. Right. Let's try a different scenario so we can actually do something whilst I'm trying to answer questions. Yes. Okay, let's see. Who will we kill? Zombie monkeys. They're always good. Behold zombie. Why haven't the zombie? Oh, I haven't clicked it. Behold zombie monkeys. I thought I'd broken it for a moment. It's just because I'm an idiot. It's coming straight for me. Die. Yeah, it's a tad overpowered. They're only little. Die, squishy monkey. Oh god, it didn't die. Oh, it might kill me. It's alright. Anyway. Summon RPOH the crater. What? Why? Is that really a community event? It's not really. Can you make unlimited wave thing like zombies on Call of Duty but with harder waves? Theoretically, we could make an endless zombie spawning death machine. Yeah, I got an experience lamp. That's so useful on my JMod. Sorry. Die, monkey, die. Die. Okay, what? Yeah. More monkeys! Summon a horde of angry Viragos to the crater which will try and kill everyone. I can do that. You want to... You just want to have everyone smushed into jam in the crater, don't you? That doesn't seem a staggeringly good community event, but we could do it. Yeah, a new quest is not a scenario. Okay, so someone is suggesting that the rare spawn spam of rare spawn items we'll keep it rare if we make it 5 minutes. Oh, I can't click zombies. But at least they'll get to wear a pea hat. I can temporarily give you a transmog so you look like you have a pea hat if you really want. Seems a tad silly. A new quest with a high farm requirement is not for a scenario. Sorry, dude. That's for a different one. Ballroom dancing. Would people really want ballroom dancing? Do you want to dance? Do you want to get another player and do that all?
They like the carnival dancing one.
That's true. A new tug of war of players versus bosses. That we could do. That's a scenario. More donkeys. Summon hands with an AGS. Let him PK everyone. Yeah, maybe. Why? Why hands? Why do you want to turn hands into a murder machine? We can. But why? Oh, and of course, yeah, thank you very much, safety dance person. We can indeed dance if we want to, and we can leave our friends behind. Yeah, also scenarios are not a way to get mounts. Nice try, guys. Why would Zaros invade Varrock?
Why not?
Yeah, but why would he? I mean, we could have Zarosians invade. We can take it over, sure. Summon Thok to kill everyone. I like the way you think. But, you know, Thok might be a bit too overpowered. I'm trying to read the chat, let's see. Can we have a Fally massacre? Let's not recreate that. I mean, we could. But if it's something that people really want, we could make a scenario. Obviously, you'd have to opt in, but you could indeed go to Falador and all be murdered by one another. That's doable. I assume you'd want this, you know, unsafe. Boss fights to the death. What do you mean by boss fights to the death? Because surely boss fights are already to the death? Or do you mean that it keeps respawning until you die? Oh, you mean boss? Okay, boss versus boss. Yeah. We can certainly have bosses fighting bosses. Let's pick a different scenario. I'm sure you're all bored of monkeys. Any suggestions you want? Balloons, Black Knights, chickens versus Jad, snowmen, happy little penguins, squirrels. Anything you would like? Add demon mobs to the minigame. That's not a scenario, guys. Zombie pirates versus ninja monkeys. Let's have them. There we go. Zombies, ninja monkeys. We've already got chickens versus Jad. Sorry, someone suggested chickens versus Jad. We've already got it. I'd show you the event, but I can't. At least not here. I cleverly put some safety checks on it for the original thing, which means I can't spawn it. Which is, you know, terribly depressing, I know. Ha 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 ha. Sorry. I enjoy killing the NPCs randomly, in case you hadn't guessed. Here we go. Virago versus Ferret of Doom. I like it. So Stevie's RS has suggested a date with Mod Luna scenario, please. I'll ask her what she thinks about that.
We've got JMod clones in game. If you don't think
Yeah, it's true. I can. That's the terrible thing. I can make that scenario. We can do blind date JMod scenario. You can have a JMod, you can all pitch your questions and she'll choose one. That's probably not the right way of doing it. The other way around would be better.
If I was a Tier 90 weapon or piece of armour?
What Tier 90 weapon would you be? Yes. Oh dear. A Lady in the Tramp scenario. You want a scenario where you're sat around a spaghetti bowl, I assume? Why? There are some suggestions I'm not going to say out loud, but I can just say no. Okay, guys, we're going to go back to the sofa. So in the meantime, if you have any questions or if you need suggestions, just send them to me. Have fun.
It's next!
Talk some more about the possible scenarios that you might see in the CM scenario tool once it's done. I'm going to do a quick community roundup for events that are coming up over the coming week and a couple of contests that are going on that you might be interested in. So first up, this very evening, 2200 game time. The CM team will be running some games of Heist, so do pitch in if you'd like to do that. The community home section on the forums has a JMod in-game events thread that has all the details that you could possibly want. Tomorrow, 11 game time, is Mod John's Wilderness Challenge. I don't know all the details of that, but anything that has wilderness and challenge in the same phrase sounds potentially fatal, which is probably the point, really.
I guess so.
So just on the name alone, I can thoroughly recommend that. Then on the 13th, at 0100 game time,
Wow.
that takes some dedication from someone. That's 8 PM Eastern. There's a game of Great Orb Project being held, several games of Great Orb Project, I
would say so.
assume.
Yeah.
And then later on that day, the free-to-play Valentine Zombie Parade, which is going on both at Zombie Parade, which is going on both at 10:30 AM server time and 3:30 in the afternoon, 15:30 game time.
That could be an interesting one.
So as I say, all of those details available. Details and ballistic squirrels available on the JMod in-game events thread at Community Home. Competitions, as I say, first up there's the forum video guide contest.
Video guide?
Video guide. So as far as I'm aware, this is make a video explaining what the forums are all about, how to get the most out of the RuneScape official forums, and there's a £20 RuneScape gift card in it for the best entry, so that may be worth your while. And at the same time, Game Blast. Game Blast is coming up in a couple of weeks' time, and we'll be featuring some videos on our Game Blast live stream. If you make a video and it's one of the ones that's featured, you'll be winning a month's worth of membership and a bond, and one lucky winner will also get a RuneScape goodie bag. Not a ballistic squirrel, just a RuneScape goodie bag, in addition to that bond and that 1 month of membership, containing all sorts of lovely things. Signed artwork,
sorry, I was amazed by the
top trump cards, all that sort of thing. All that good stuff. And obviously, last one of the contests to mention, the Samurai Selfie competition. The winners of that to announce, I think we've got the pictures available. First up, the winner was Angelina, with this lovely shot of a particularly ominous samurai. Runners up then Patrick K, running away from his pet there.
That one looks pretty cool.
Very forlorn looking pet. And also runner up Lyak, with something of a touring shot, I think. And then special mention to Kenny, who decided to relax away from it all in the sun, on a beach, surrounded by swag. Excellent.
Everything.
So do remember the Community Chronicle news is available from the main page or the lobby. That's gone up today. That's got everything I've just covered and more if you want details on that. So, scenarios then. Back to talking about scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
I was keeping an eye on the chat while you were running through some things. Saw some rather good-looking ones. The safety dance that someone mentioned. Now, they say that, and I immediately think of acid and flames bubbling up through the floor and having to run away to not get caught by it and killed. Last man standing.
Yep.
That sort of thing. All well within
the
range of things
that
we can
sort
do.
of thing would be, yep, I can do that.
I was kind of thinking of just making players dance.
Making players dance for your amusement?
Yeah, why not?
They could dance whilst we could combine the two.
You could. Yeah.
They could dance, and if they're not dancing, then they have like
to
a
avoid.
damage track that
There we go.
they'll explode in glorious Technicolor.
Exploding glorious Technicolor.
Might not be able to make them explode in glorious
I might
Technicolor.
be able to make them explode.
I'll have a
Glorious
look. Let's
Technicolor.
see what I can do.
There's a certain amount of animation time available.
Yeah.
Obviously, several people mentioning the old World Event 2 and the fact that you could PvP around the world.
Yep.
Now, that does take a certain amount of safety checking.
Yeah.
But we managed it for World Event 2 in specific areas, so I don't see why we couldn't have
I'm hoping to do the same with
safe
this. Yeah.
faction versus faction PvP
Yeah.
in particular areas as part of the scenario too.
Yep. It'll be set. Like it'll probably be the Lumbridge Crater. Let's be honest. But yeah.
Yeah, as a start.
As a start, yeah.
And then, of course, there's the city invasions. They were also mentioning Falador
Yes.
Castle, Varrock, bits and pieces.
I've already got stuff in place for those, so I'm quite happy to do them.
Splendid. So yes, do keep them coming. We've got some questions from the forums. Death Altar asks, how many new scenarios are there? We're starting with one big one, I think.
We're hoping to start with one big scenario, but we can put in more as time goes on. And if I have free time, I can add in some more as well. But yeah,
Yep.
It'll be one new scenario mainly.
So on launch, one new scenario, but we're looking to put additional scenarios out on a regular basis every couple of months as part of our team's ongoing commitment to the tool.
Mm-hmm.
Sir Eos Lee, point for you, sir, asks, can you spawn zombie squirrels in a battle with bouncing cabbages and confused ravens? Anything to do with cabbages and ravens, that's got to go to you.
We can.
Maybe.
I mean, the ravens won't be confused because ravens are better than that, but we can certainly do bouncing cabbages, zombie squirrels, and, mocking ravens or something.
The sort of ravens that only turn up for 13
For
hours
13,
of
for
every
13 days. Yeah.
You monster. Yes, you are evil.
I'm sure Mod Maz also might have something to say about the squirrels. Away.
I'm sure she would.
Speaking of which, supposedly this is her in squirrel form.
It is a squirrel wearing a gold crown, at
Yep.
least. Martin asks, how rotten and potato-y will the player version of it be?
Currently, we're thinking of putting it on a cabbage to fit the RuneScape theme, and because cabbages are awesome. It'll either be a rotten or possibly a pickled cabbage. We haven't decided yet.
Okay. But the thrust of the idea is to take away all the bits that are unsafe.
Yeah,
Like the bits that let you break quests.
It'll
for
just be
testing
the
purposes.
scenario tool on this thing. It won't be all of the JMod superpowers and all those things, because that would be bad.
I find
That
myself
could
having
break
to agree
far
with
too
you.
many things.
Sorry, guys. Leon Bradley asks, do you have a criteria of who will have access to the tool? So I think you covered that.
Yeah. So at first it'll just be JMods.
Yep.
After that, we're looking to get. Mod Marked touched on this at RuneFest.
The community ambassadors.
The community ambassadors. We're looking at getting a selection of players who already run events, are already big in the events community, and giving them the tool.
Okay.
Beyond that, we'll have to wait and see.
Fair enough. Sammy Subo 26 and a number of people in the chat ask, let players transform into bosses so we can do boss versus boss.
That
Could be fun.
could be fun. It seems a bit two-player, but we could do something.
It's not if you make the boss big enough. It's one player versus 100 players if you make the boss big enough.
It's fair.
And we do have the ability to make some big bosses.
Yeah, we could do something like that, definitely.
Yeah, I think
Certainly
that's
give it
on
a try.
Yeah,
Could be
I'll
good
have a
fun
look.
to try and do that.
Yes, seen this one a number of times in the chat as well. Hope Devourer and others ask, can you bring back the siege units from the Battle of Lumbridge?
I would definitely like to use these. I mean, they're really cool NPCs that we don't get to use again, so I would love any excuse to use them again.
Yeah, anything from the Battle of Lumbridge, including the guys on the side, the witch doctors with the cauldrons and so forth. They'd be fair game. The siege units, the
remember
knights from the battlefield, they were the Duke's Dilemma guys that came to help out.
Oh, they were the ones.
yeah.
They weren't.
Yeah,
they were
yeah,
ones
yeah.
that weren't voted in.
Oh, they weren't voted.
No,
in.
no.
That's a shame.
We got the Wardens instead.
Right.
You missed out on the awesome Papa Mambo-esque ones. I'm doing little Papa.
All the
Mambo.
more reason to use them then, I'd say.
Definitely.
Definitely.
But yes,
Apologise
then
for the dancing.
the World Event 2 NPCs,
Yeah.
I don't see any reason why we couldn't get some more use out of those as well. It's a shame to have made the assets and then not used them.
Basically, any old NPCs that you haven't seen in a while and want us to reuse, let us know and we'll see if we can use them.
Yeah. Yep. Buelens Jerome asks giant pillar with 1 billion hit points for group DPS testing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's I think that's the sort of thing we can certainly give
Yeah.
to any player, really.
Yeah.
It's not the sort of thing we need to limit access to.
That doesn't need to be a
particularly.
scenario. I think that's an idea for wider in general. I think, but
Yeah, it can
We
go
could-
on the scenario
we
tool as
could.
well.
yeah, we could.
And on the spot, no risk PvP matches. So
It won't be on the spot due to the safety checks we mentioned before, but we could do it in certain places. We could have someone switch it on, sure.
okay, so you just go to a place and then say, "Come on, if you think you're hard enough."
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, that would work.
Okay.
Yeah, and we can assign factions. We can do something similar to how we had the God fight. So if you Bandosians want a rematch, you could have a Bandos versus Armadillo rematch. Or you could, mix some of the other ones. Bandos versus Zamorak and have the two losing sides have a grudge match. I don't know.
Well, I think Zamorak's got his own plans, but we'll be hearing
This is
about
true.
that next
This is
week.
true.
And yes, good one from the chat, I believe. Could we summon caravans from World Event 2 that we have to protect or defeat? Maybe even add new god versions of caravans.
We could certainly use the old ones.
Yeah.
As I've said, we don't have much of in the way of graphics resources, so making new ones would be tricky. I mean, it's theoretically possible, but we could certainly use the old ones.
Yeah, get some use out of
Quite
the old
quickly.
ones first. Yep.
Do some recolours
Yeah.
of the already existing ones.
Yep.
As a quick shortcut.
We can have different scales of godly caravans. We can have, supreme caravans, which is
Supreme caravans.
bright pink or something.
One from Twitter, Return of the Party Demons.
The party demons.
The Party Demons. Who are the Party
I
Demons?
don't remember the
Demons
party
that like to
demons.
party, obviously.
Okay. I mean, I remember the 200 mil.
Is it the
demon.
enormous demon? We could do. I mean, if the NPCs exist, I don't remember them off the top of my head. But yeah, sure, we can
Yeah.
bring them back.
Yeah, anything that you've seen in the past probably exists somewhere as an asset in the game that we can reuse. And
Yeah.
the good thing about it being the scenario tool is that the artists don't get to tell us no.
Yep.
So we can bring back Rocknar if you'd like, as a scenario
An
tool.
endless stream of Rocknar
Rocknar everywhere. Just pave the streets with
being led by the Black Knight Titan.
Oh god. Oh yes, one from the chat, not about scenarios. Clan Wars and what we plan to do with that. We do have some plans in the offing. They won't be immediate, but we would like to start by at least giving clans support to Clan Wars, because at the moment it just works off friends chats and not off clans. So we'll be looking to improve that for sure. And one from Sakir. How about a Hunger Games style game where you start from scratch in a great big PvP battle? Seen that elsewhere in the chat as well. And some comments about PvP worlds in general. There's a larger project going on at the moment that's in its very earliest stages, so I can't talk much about it. But something of that scale would be its own project. It is something we're interested in doing, but not as part of the scenarios tool, I think.
That would be quite cool, though.
It would be very cool.
We could do
Well,
it.
it's kind of Iron Man, though, isn't it? In a sense, just without the PvP aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah.
So we'll go shortly to a general Q&A for anything that we've picked up that is of the lines of the Clan Wars question. But just before we do, I've been asked by Mod Kelpie to talk a little about Rune Labs and the current status of that. And get my hair out my eyes again because I need a haircut. Not relevant. Rune Labs, obviously, the voting is currently going on for the first of the Rune Labs updates. You've got 2 days left, slightly under 2 days left to vote, if you haven't already, for Adamant and Rune Dragons versus a farming timer, a Slayer belt, being able to edit Grand Exchange offers without having to remove them, or trim your quest cape. At the moment, it looks like Adamant and Rune Dragons are quite far ahead.
Could be quite a good one for them, I think.
Yep.
Needed.
And the Farming Timer and the Slayer Belt are more or less joint second. There's only a couple of hundred votes between them, so all hope is not lost there if you particularly want those, because they did say that they will definitely do 2 of the options given, because they're all slightly smaller in scope than expected, I believe.
They are pretty good, all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, and they are all they're
all
good.
worthy of any form of development.
Excellent. So yes, do get your votes in for that if you haven't already. Yes, and so any other questions that we've got our chat monitors there, pulling up questions from the hashtag and from the forums and from your chat, and let's go through some of them now. Mr. Callius asks, minigame spotlight, what will happen to bonus XP reward items? So we're talking about sort of the penance horn versus the sacred clay armor charges and all that sort of thing. We're thinking that what we'll do is, in the one central shop, if we go down that route, we'll have one single prismatic star equivalent item that you can buy, rather than have a dozen different representations of what's essentially the same thing. Death Altar asks, what features have you guys made that you're proud of?
It's a very good question.
What
I've
features?
made so much stuff.
Well,
So much little stuff, though. It's all been combining of little things. I think most of the stuff is probably when I was in Ninja, with all the little bug fixes and quality of life stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just all in general, the whole encompassment of everything.
Yeah, and that's remained sort of your central charge while you've been in DevCom as well.
Yes, I do all that as well.
The lobby news.
Lobby news was good fun.
Yeah,
that was good fun. It was a good technical project.
Yep. Well,
I do enjoy that sort of stuff anyway.
That is your core focus.
It is.
You are our tech
what
dev.
I am meant to be doing. So, yeah.
Excellent.
Oh, it's a big question, isn't it? In my wider time in RuneScape, it'll have been, well, probably the sagas, if I'm honest, or maybe one of a kind. In DevCom, it's going to be the scenario tool, because it's been my little baby that I've been going.
Yes, and it will continue to be your
Yes.
charge for a while. Okay,
Yep.
that's fair enough. Personally, I still am quite proud of ports. Obviously, you were part of that as well, as was Mod Edam before he sadly left us. But that's been an enduring pleasure to see people play that. And Sean D. Recklin, or Sean Drecklin possibly, will we use the crater still? Any plans to update it?
I'm certainly planning on using it in scenarios,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a good place to use for events and things. I'm not sure about the wider, in terms of lore and stuff. That's more of a Dave Osborne thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So possibly the wrong face to ask, but we are using it at the moment, obviously, for seasonal events. We put Christmas there, and I've no doubt we'll continue to do that. It's a good space to put stuff in that is temporary.
Big enough.
It's an entire map square all on its own. There's plenty of room to run around.
Definitely.
As far as updating it is concerned, I don't know that we'll do a graphical pass on that just yet. We've got other things to focus on first, I think.
Say that with such glee. Yes.
I know the things we've got to focus on.
So I'm asked to remind you that got it backwards. The RSTV hashtag it's not just something for while we're live. Do feel free to tweet anything you like at us. Do bear in mind that it comes straight to us, the DevCom team, and that we can either pull it into the work that we do, if it's something that will be of benefit to the wider community, or see that it gets passed on to Mod Dean, Mod Osborne, Mod Tim C, and Mod Chris L, who are your retention product owners.
Yeah.
The guys who lead the retention teams. Can we have our faction symbol displayed above our heads forever, like in world events, with toggle options? I think we've got a different channel for it. We probably could.
Could take a look at it. I don't know if it runs the same on the prayer though.
No, it's a different channel from.
Okay.
So
yeah,
we could. We most likely would as part of scenarios rather than just all the time, because it might get a bit glowy for everyone having them and everyone running around. A bit distracting, perhaps, but good to be able to show off from time to time.
Show your loyalty.
Yes. So I think that's just about all we've got time for this week. But like I say, do keep the tweets coming, do keep posting on the forum threads, and do keep attending the community events, because they are good fun. Next week, it'll be Team RS-DOS on the sofa talking a little about Zamorak Heist. And yes,